Peter Blake, Big Fight Weekend, the Rolex Reporter. Thank you, Jake, for being a man of your word after giving the Rolex like you said you would. This question is for you, and also Mike. What's your biggest concern with Mike? And Mike, what's your biggest concern with Jake in this fight?
Yeah, he's unorthodox. That's about it. So the first 30 seconds to a minute, just finding my timing and range, and then the fight's over. That's really about it.
Really, I switch stances sometimes, but I'm really an orthodox fighter, so I don't know how I'm unorthodox.
So that
punch
means
people in the face.
That means like your stance is a regular stance, not southpaw.
I think that one went over your head, Jake.
Welcome back to another edition of the Evolution of Sports Talk Television on a happy
Hump Day
edition of the Sports Web. I'm your host, Peter Blake. How do we start off this show? As you know them, you love them, you got to have them. Three things. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. On tonight's show, we'll have the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. Best of the Bay, Mr. Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, talking about what else? First day of Bucs training camp. I said the first day of Tampa Bay Buccaneer training camp. I don't know if you heard me. It's the first day of Tampa Bay Buccaneer training camp.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Yes, it is the first day. I love it. I gotta love it. Because you know why? Football season is right around the corner. So we'll talk with Leo Haggerty. We'll talk with Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. And then at 10:30, we will talk professional wrestling with Ralph Williams, the bodyguard of the Berg. Turnbuckle talk, WWE action, AEW, only 1 week away from SummerSlam. What's going to happen? And as always, we take your phone calls, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. My question for the night for Bucs fans out there, who is the rookie that you have your eye on? Is it Graham Barton? Is it Chris Braswell? Is it Bucky Irving? Is it Jalen McMillan? Or is it somebody else? Tyke Smith? Who's going to make the biggest impact? Who do you have your eye on? What position battles are you looking forward to seeing? We'll also hear from Mike Evans as he talked to the media today. Going into what, his 10th year? It just seems like yesterday he was drafted. It's crazy how time flies when you're having fun, right? Again, open phone line, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. We're on TikTok tonight, so definitely engage over there if you would. We're on Instagram Live. We're all over the place on I Love St. Pete, on Bucs Life. Just continue to tune in here to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get my guy on, the legend himself. Here we go. Former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions, Amped Up Sports, and has all these special guests that make my face light up because I had no idea he had a former NFL quarterback, but that's how he rolls. Mr. Leo Haggerty, the legend, welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television on the first day of training camp for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I know it's just training camp, but we're right around the corner from the NFL season. Your thoughts here on the Sports Web?
Well, first day of training camp is always exciting, Peter, because being a former player, not an NFL player, but a high school and college player, that first day is always exhilarating because you're back on the field with your teammates. And you know what? The one thing about football, it's not baseball, it's not basketball, it's not hockey. You got a shot because there's only 17 games. There's only 12 in college. There's only 10 in high school. You got a shot at making the playoffs. The Chicago White Sox, beginning of the season, they had no shot. And they knew that. You know, the NBA, the Houston Rockets, they had no shot. They knew that. But in the NFL, when they start the season, everybody starts 0-0. I get that. But for the longest time in the NFC South, first was commonplace.
Right.
Yeah, it's a really great time. And I tell you what, as a fan, you got to love it.
Yeah, you got to love it. I want to, kind of get into a surprise last week that happened. Shaq Barrett announced his retirement. Of course, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers let him go to the Miami Dolphins. Really hasn't been the same player ever since the injury. Are you surprised? His reasoning was, of course, family. being with his family, but are you surprised that he walked away from the National Football League? And do you think he could have, had some numbers there with the Miami Dolphins if he would have stayed?
You know what, Peter? We're finding a lot of players are passing up the money for their health.
Right.
So it's not a matter of if you're going to get hurt, it's when you're going to get hurt.
Right.
All these guys that played multiple years, you see him trying to get around. I mean, Jim Brown, it was painful to watch him try to move around. Earl Campbell can barely walk. So, Shaq Barrett's probably going, I got enough money to live off of the rest of my life. My kids are going to be good. Let's walk away. Let's see what we got here.
Yeah, and again, I think a lot, for him in that Bucs year, of course, coming over one of Jason Light's best moves in free agency to get him a one-year contract with 19 and a half sacks. I mean, Tom Brady is going to be your free agent pickup, but Shaq Barrett came out of nowhere. He did have another double-digit sack season, but after that, wasn't able to recapture that. But a big part of that Super Bowl year, especially in that postseason, was Shaq. Talk about Shaq in that 2020 year for Super Bowl 55 versus, not only Green Bay, but also Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, that was just it. It was an amazing year. You got JPP on one side, you got Shaq Barrett on the other, and they made life miserable for Patrick Mahomes. I think somebody figured out that he had to run close to 500 yards trying to escape those two guys throughout the game. So, yeah. And, Peter, when he got to 19 and a half sacks, you knew next year he was going to go down because all of a sudden offensive coordinators are going to sit there at a meeting and go, all right, we're double teaming that guy.
Yeah.
We're going to see if these other guys can make plays because we're not going to let a guy beat me who I know can beat me. He almost got 20 sacks. You play 17 games, he got 19 sacks. I mean, that tells you he's going to get there once. So we got to try to keep him from getting there. So his numbers went down, and that's just the nature of the beast when you talk about the NFL.
Yeah, absolutely. The nature of the beast. With that being said, are you surprised? Because we kind of talked about this a couple months ago that Roger Goodell was hinting at an 18-game season. We've heard, nothing about, all we've heard about this whole process is how the NFL cares about safety, how they care about this, and now it's an 18-game season, and you're going to extend the Super Bowl to the President's Day. Of course, the NFL Players Association has to sign off on this. But are you really surprised by an 18-game season? Is it good for the National Football League besides the fact of much money as possible?
You know what, Peter? I want to ask you a question first. Am I giving a lot of feedback again?
Yeah, we're getting. I don't know what it is.
How's that? Better?
Yeah, that's better. That's definitely better.
I had it in the case again. My bad. I forgot.
We got. You know what we got to do? I got to come out there and just get you kind of the setup that I set up with Ray and Harry. I got to get you on the same line here, my friend. We got to eliminate that feedback, but it's good.
Well, now it'll be gone because I had it when I was gone for the last month.
Yeah,
I hadn't had my thing, so I put it in there and I thought, oh, wait a second, he getting feedback? Oh, he is. But now you won't because I'm holding it in my hand and you get a beautiful view of my lovely mug.
There you go. Your lovely mug right there. And again, the update score for the Rays and Blue Jays, because I didn't do that, coming in 2-2 right now. Bottom of the A, 2 men on Jason Adam. Frozen Pizza, good night. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night. It looks like he did strike out that player, so we'll keep you abreast of that situation, see if the Rays can pull this out here in the later innings. But, yeah, go ahead and finish your thought there, my friend.
Yeah, you know what, Peter, when you look at what's going on with the Bucs, and that Jason Light's been one of the smartest guys in the world because they look at what they need. And again, they don't deviate a lot from their board when they talk about draft. They signed, a couple offensive linemen in free agency. They drafted Barton. They're looking to shore up some places. And again, Randy Gregory was a no-show. So they drafted, an edge guy right away. So, the Bucs cannot be accused of not knowing what's going on. They are very attuned to what's happening and the need. Now, with that being said, you talked about in the beginning of your show, who's the guy I'm looking at? I'm looking at McMillan.
Okay.
Only because Evans getting up there in years, Godwin's taking a lot of punishment. I want to see who that guy is that's going to replace Evans, because you know what? Father Time is undefeated. He never loses. So, Mike's getting up there. He's been there 10 years,
Yes.
right? He's on the wrong side of 30. And you know what I mean there when it comes to contracts and that. Probably got his last one. You hope he's going to finish with the Bucs. He may not. But I hope he gets the record this year, because that would be phenomenal to have a foul. Now, everybody says, with 17 games, getting a foul, you still got to catch the damn football.
Of course.
You got to find somebody who's going to throw it to you. And Peter, 18 games, I don't think the NFLPA is going to sign off on that. Just say, okay, great. Well, does that mean that 1/18 of their salary is going to be an increase? Because now, when you signed the contract was for 17 games, and now you're adding it on. I get that the owners say they need the money.
Right.
I get that. But you've got to expand the roster. You can't play with 53 for 18 games. People, and how would you like to be week 5 or 6 with the bye? And then all of a sudden you're looking at 13 weeks playing straight. I think what's going to happen, if they go to 18 games, there's going to be 2 bye weeks. There's got to be.
Right.
And one of them may be an entire league bye week, where half the league goes off 1 week, like in December. Half the league's off Christmas week. The other half of the league is off New Year's Day week, and then you get back into it for the last 2 or 3 weeks in January. But that wouldn't make total sense, because now you got to get these guys a rest, because I'll tell you what, the game has increased exponentially in speed and in size. You got guys out there the size of Volkswagens that are flying around.
Got to update the score here. Thought the Rays got out of the inning. I jumped the gun here. This is why you got to host the show, produce the show, and also watch the game closely. 5-2 now. The Toronto Blue Jays have taken the lead. So Jason Adam not able to get out of a high leverage situation. Once again, the Rays up and down this year, back to 500. We'll see what they do when it comes to trades, because there's lots of rumors out there of a Rosarena and, of course, Zach Eflin being dealt, possibly to, you can't believe this, the New York Yankees.
This guy.
Wow.
I'm not even kidding. All right, let's go back to the contract situation, and a drop ball by Taylor Walls. Now it is 6-2. Terrible defense by Walls right there. So I'm obviously bad luck when the Rays game is on, because it seems like every time the Rays game is on and the Sports Web is on at the same time, they friggin' lose.
Yeah. Hey, Peter, let me real quick.
Yes.
Would you like me to check with Seneca Wallace and see if he'd like to be a regular contributor?
Absolutely. I love to have him on and love to talk quarterbacks. You know me. I love to talk, when it comes to quarterbacks. He definitely knows that. Former NFL player. Surprise. Thank you, Seneca, for coming on the Evolution. I want Jaws on. I want all your guests that you got coming on. I want to give the webheads everything that they want. Give them guests. Give them former NFL players. Give them the analysis, not just me sitting here looking at a camera like I'm an idiot and act like I know everything.
And you know what, Peter? I had my column of breaking news today.
Okay.
People need to go to the new and improved Amped Up Sports website.
Love it.
It is we didn't just kick it up a notch. We kicked it up a mile. People need to go there and see. We're going to have Pat Jean-Canteri coming on. He's going to cover the Saints. Mike Simzak's going to come on with his soccer guys. we're going to have every sport covered, not just in North America, but worldwide.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Let me ask you about the contract situation. First and foremost, Randy Gregory, what do we make of it? Todd Bowles addressed it today, said in so many words, according to Ian Rappaport, we're going to deal with guys that are here, and we'll deal with this eternally. What do you make of this? Does it seem like Randy Gregory is never going to play in a Bucs uniform? And it's disappointing because, again, you expect a contribution. You have all the potential there for him. He's always had that potential, but it's always been the off the field. I get it. He's got a lawsuit versus the NFL. But is this surprising to you that he has not showed up yet?
Peter, I have nothing to back this up on other than 50 years of dealing with players and lawyers.
Come.
This sounds like a lawyer told him, if you come back and play, it's going to hurt your lawsuit against the NFL.
Yeah.
I got a feeling he's just being told, hey, sit out. If you're going against the NFL, why would you want to come back? Because that's not going to work. So, yeah, and what drove me nuts is Todd Bowles said, we're not going to talk about people that aren't here. And there were 3 questions following that. Randy Gregory, he said, finally, we're not talking about that. We're not talking. And the fact that the media didn't pick up on that drives me nuts. Just if he says we're not going to talk about it, what makes you think if you ask a question, he's going to answer it because, it's you? Just sometimes the media can be a little bit stupefying. That's a key word.
Well, I love that, and I think the media is stupefied at this point. I think we all are. And again, you expect him to contribute. You're not expecting him to be a starting player there because you have Yaya Diaby, and of course you draft Chris Braswell out of Alabama, and you have Anthony Nelson, but you expect him to be a part of that rotation. With that being said, a lot of Bucs fans were getting up in arms, a little bit worried about this. As my Facebook continues to go off. Sorry about that, guys. I guess people are hitting me up during the show, so we'll have to see. Trying to host and produce a show right now, but I appreciate the responses. I will definitely get back to it, and I will get out to the comments. Tristan Wirfs situation. He shows up today, a hold in, if you will. Do you sense a contract agreement here in the next couple days between Jason Light? So basically, I can ask that question again when I asked Light a couple months ago at the presser, when you having that boat parade, because I tell you right now, Jason Light, and I'll go full screen, once you get that deal done with Tristan Wirfs, I'll come out there with the JP Peterson Show and the Sports Web. I'm not a boat guy. I have vertigo, but I'll do a live show with you or whoever else you want to on that boat on the Evolution of Sports Talk Television if you have that boat parade and get that contract extension done with Tristan Wirfs. Now, how about that? Because I'm not a boat guy, Leo. I'm just not. Like the last time I was on a boat, I lost, let's just say I lost a lot of weight, if you will. I tossed a lot.
Well, the problem was, Peter, you got on the boat that was titled Titanic 2. You don't want to do that. Stay off of that. And, Peter, let's be realistic about this. They better sign Tristan Wirfs. Because if he gets to the end of his contract, somebody's going to outbid the Bucs for him. It's just, he is the best multi-offensive tackle in the NFL right now, bar none. He can play right side or left side. Not a lot of tackles can say that. Is he the best right tackle? Probably not. Is he the best left tackle? Probably not. Is he the best multi-tackle? No question. Hands down, he is.
Yeah, and I think he's going to become the best left tackle in this league and best young left tackle. And it's not surprising because to me, he was the best right tackle the first year because of how
One sack the first game.
Handled
the first game, that was it.
Shut his fat mouth up because he's been talking trash all throughout his career against the human turnstile and Donovan Smith, who I don't think has found a team yet. Shocking right there, even though he won a Super Bowl championship with Kansas City. But with all that being said, I think they're going to get it done. And Jason Light has shown that he takes care of his own players. He did that with Antoine Winfield Jr. this year. He did that with Mike Evans and Baker Mayfield. talking about Evans, because you go back to the practice today, according to various sources, Baker and him, they were in season form. And it's hard to believe that Evans came into the league in 2014. And I want to put this out there, Leo. I was told by somebody who's no longer with us, but a major source, that Mike Evans wasn't the guy. The Bucs liked Johnny Manziel, of course, great pick by the Bucs, and Jason Light making his first selection with Mike Evans. Is it hard to believe that Evans has been in this league for 10 years?
Hard to believe anybody's in the league for 10 years with the wear and tear on your body.
Yeah.
You know, we're not seeing that anymore. We're not seeing guys that are going 7, 8, 9, 10 years or more, because it just doesn't happen. The only ones that can do that are quarterbacks, because, you know, they play in a skirt. You can't hit them. But these other guys, man, oh, man, I tell you, God love them. And I'll tell you, a lot of these guys now that when they get to the 8th, 9th, 10th year, they're going to start thinking about their health. They're going to, you know, the money's great, but if they manage their money right, they should be very well off for the rest of their lives. And you know what? Enjoy life. You can retire at 32. Think about that, Peter.
Wow.
32.
Hold on a second.
You got 40 years where you don't have to work another day in your life. That's amazing, isn't it?
It is amazing. Absolutely. Let's see here. I'm looking right now for this trade rumor. Did the Rays just trade Zach Eflin? Have you seen anything that's come down?
I have not. No.
Okay, I'm looking right now here, guys. Where are we getting this from? Because everybody's saying Rays trade Eflin. Rays trade Eflin. Okay, so I'm looking for this right now as we are on. Hi, Vita. How you doing? I'm looking right now with all the web heads. I'll go out to the comments in just a moment, but stand by. See if we have anything here on Zach Eflin being traded, because everybody's reporting it right now. That would not be a surprise, although it would basically tell you where he's going. Can you go ahead and I'm not seeing it here, guys. So where are you getting this from? Is this just you putting it out there? We'll go ahead and check up on that. But Gary says Rays trade Eflin. So let's go back out to the web heads here, and we'll continue to talk about Mike Evans. Roger Shue, the tribal troll.
Acknowledge me.
Hurry up, Dynamite is on. Perry got fired. Okay, thank you. Tim says, good evening, Peter. What's going on, buddy?
Ooh, yeah.
What's going on to Jeremiah? Everyone, Shadow is here. What's going on, Shadow?
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to Mr. Williams. Go Tampa Bay. I like it. Eric says, wow, Rays are about to lead. No, they blew the lead, or they blew a tie there. Now it's 6-2 Blue Jays. And again, this is, I don't know where this rumor is from, guys. Give me some
Collaboration.
Yes.
Collaborate that.
Yes, give me something here. Back to 500 again. Gary says, Bucs time to go to work. Rays trade Eflin. And again, Vita says, hi, Peter. What's going on? How you doing?
Yeah.
Always love when women tune in to the evolution of sports talk television. That's always a great thing. It puts a smile on my face. Now, going back to Mike Evans and listening to that press conference, he was talking about the reason why he signed with Tampa Bay was because of Liam Cohen. And on top of that, we'll hear from Evans later in this press conference where he's not just a guy that's going to be on the outside. They're moving him all around. Talk about that from a coaching standpoint. And once again, talk about Cohen's offense, which you mentioned just about a month ago, of how there's going to be so much motion. What does that do to a defense?
Drives them crazy, Peter.
Mm-hmm.
Because when people start moving, you have to adjust, adapt, and change. So when you look at just go back and watch the Los Angeles Rams.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where Liam Cohen comes from. He comes from the Sean McVay tree. And it's going to look like the Rockettes before they even snap the ball. There's going to be movement. There's going to be shifting. There's going to be motions. And they're going to end up generally with about 4 or 3 seconds left on the clock. So the defense has like 2 seconds to decide what they're going to do and if they need to change coverages. So, yeah, it's just a crazy thing. And I tell you what, I like the way the Bucs did this. They went with Canales. Canales made it simple. Hey, Kiss, keep it simple, stupid. He had a new quarterback. He wanted him to get comfortable. Now they're kicking it up a notch with Liam Cohen. I tell you what, and again, if you listen to the press conference or you saw the transcript of it, they just got a minuscule amount of play in. It's going to be a process. They are going to want to get to a point where they maybe have 100, 120 plays by the first game that they can choose from. But yeah, it's going to be tough. When you change offensive coordinators, not only are you changing offensive coordinators, you're changing terminology. You're going from Greek to Latin. Now you're going to Hebrew. It's kind of tough.
Well, it is kind of tough, and Evans talked about that today, and we'll probably get out to that press conference here in just a little bit after we have Tampa Bay Ray. Unfortunately, I want to update the score. Your Tampa Bay Rays. Yep, 6-3, losing to the Toronto Blue Jays. Jason Adam, who's been fantastic all year long, just didn't have it in the 8th inning. The high leverage situations come back to haunt them. They tie the game up 2-2, and now the Rays are back at 500. And again, the trade rumors are running rampant. Is it Randy Arozarena? Is it Aesop Paredes? Is it Zach Eflin? Somebody's reporting Zach Eflin's been traded. Can't see anything on that. We haven't confirmed that, so we'll see how that goes. But, those are the guys right now that most likely are going to be on the trade block if the Rays continue to just do what they've done all year long, which is be 500, win one game here, lose two, one step forward, two steps back. This team is up and down. They're most likely not going anywhere. With that being said, we do talk baseball on the show. We'll get back to football in a moment. But is that what the Rays should do, in your opinion? You got to trade Zach Eflin because he's going to cost a lot of money. That's where the Rays are. Because of Randy Arozarena and his arbitration situation, do you trade him because he does have value there? Do you trade an Aesop Paredes, who's having an all-star year, for prospects to reset here and get ready for next year?
You know what, Peter? This is what went through my mind today. I'm thinking of what life's going to be with the Tampa Bay Lightning post-91. And I can remember when I sat down with Rich McKay right before he left.
Sure.
I said, Rich, there's going to be a time when 47, 55, and 99 are not going to be here. He looked at me point blank and said, I don't want to be here when that happens.
Right.
Think about the Lightning. Ben Bishop, LeCavier, St. Louis, now Stamkos. They've been able to do that. Name me a player with the Rays that retired or they had to get rid of at the end of their career. Nobody. They just, they're sellers. They're not buyers. And it's just, I want to know where McClanahan is on his recovery. Because, and again, you're asking Eflin, you're asking Pirro, you're asking Luttrell to be these 1, 2, and 3 starters, and that's not in their DNA.
Yes.
They're 4 and 5 guys. So it's not surprising that this is happening. But again, you had Glasnow, you traded him away. McClanahan's on the shelf. Now, Boz is coming back, and he's not pitching too bad. But we'll see what happens. I'm not a big trader guy because he's going to make too much money.
Right.
In fact, the Saints are going through that right now. You got Alvin Kamara. Next year, he's going to make $25 million. Do you think they're going to cut him? Because they have to. And here's what's driving me nuts about agents. Why are you signing a contract that in that last year, you are basically telling your player you're going to get cut because they can't pay you? And there's the Mark Dominic rule in the NFL, Peter. All the guaranteed money comes off first. So if a guy has a 5-year contract for $200 million, $40 million a year, and $100 million of that's guaranteed, the first 2.5 years, it's done. The unguaranteed money comes at the end. That's why they can get away with this.
Yeah, that's why they can get away with it. And we'll go and we're going to recap a little bit of the first day of camp. I don't know how much you take out of this, but Kyle Trask, he had one of his worst days, threw some interceptions. Of course, everybody assuming we all know Baker Mayfield is going to be your starter. A little bit disappointing, though. He's in a new offense, but he's been on this team for a while. That Kyle Trask, a little bit concerned at this juncture with Trask's play as a backup for this team.
Nope.
Okay.
Because the backup. You know, if that was Baker Mayfield, yeah, trust me, Peter, coaches tell you, I want competition at every position. Guess what? They don't want it at quarterback. They want that guy to come in and get settled. Do you honest to God think it was a quarterback competition in New England for the time Tom Brady was there? Do you honest to God think it was a quarterback competition in Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers took over, when Kirk Cousins took over in Minnesota? You don't want that.
Right.
You want that guy to come in and settle in as the leader of the team. So, yeah, they love the Saints competition. And, God, it's underwear football, folks. Don't get excited. Don't get excited. If he's throwing interceptions in that first preseason game, whole different animal.
Yeah, some other guys that kind of stood out, of course, Mike Evans in season form there with Baker Mayfield, Chris Godwin. And we heard Mike Evans say this today in the presser, and once again, we're going to get out to that, saying Chris Godwin of 2019. Do you think that Godwin has the opportunity in this offense? Because you played him outside last year. And talk about this with the webheads and football fans, what the main difference is with Godwin playing outside when you know how productive he is in the slot, and then you put him in the slot in the second half of the year, and that's when he really took off. What are the differences to that? And do you feel like Chris Godwin could be a player, possibly comeback player of the year, because he's coming off this injury 2 years removed from it, and he's going back to his natural position and Cohen's offense?
It's all about coverage, Peter. If you're that outside receiver, remember, corners take one. Down from the sideline in. So you're getting the cover guys. You're in the slot, you're getting a safety or you're getting a linebacker. Or you're getting a nickel. And again, it's a whole different animal. Keyshawn Johnson talked about it when he was there with Keenan McCardell. You know, I'm the outside guy. I'm the guy that's getting the coverage. You know, McCardell's in the slot. Okay. He's not getting the same guy I'm getting out there. So, yeah, I would not, if I were the Bucs, I would put Trips to one side and put Godwin in the slot, and I'd put Evans on the other side. You know why? You can't double team that guy who's singled up away from the Trips. You know, and it's just a simple matter of getting to that point. Look at what the Rams do and how they isolate their receivers with motion and with shifting. That's what you're going to see here.
Oh, and I know you're on a pitch count here, so we'll get you out of here in just a moment. But Trey Palmer, this is one of the position battles I'm going to be watching, because you talked about Jalen McMillan. JP Peterson, our friend of the show here, the guy that I produce, co-host on Wednesday morning, says he's Paul Warfield. He glides out there. He made some plays today. Trey Palmer made some plays. So that's the position battle I'm definitely going to be watching, along with the offensive line. Who wins the left guard spot? How good is this offensive line? But going back to it, Palmer, according to Joe Bucs fan, says that Cohen's offense is a lot like what he had there at LSU. Who do you think wins out eventually? Is it Trey Palmer, who has the experience, or is it McMillan for that third wide receiving job?
You know what, Peter? I want people to go back, and I want you to Google the Washington, Texas college football playoff semifinal. And I want you to Google touchdown passes by Michael Penix. You're going to see one he throws. He throws it to McMillan. McMillan's running a skinny post. Penix avoids the rush, throws a missile. Doesn't get more than 6 feet off the ground. McMillan turns around, and in one step, it hits him between the 1 and the 1, and he doesn't break stride.
Wow.
That's the kind of receiver you like. because that ball got onto him in a hurry, caught it in his hands. And you're talking about a guy with size.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. You can't coach size, you can't coach speed, and he brings that.
He brings both of those things. And Leo Haggerty, appreciate the time as always. I know you're on a pitch count. We appreciate it. We'll see you next Wednesday here as football season, my friend, right around the corner. Great stuff.
And I'll make sure I get a hold of Jaws and I get a hold of Seneca and say, hey, let's get you back on come September, right?
Absolutely. Sounds good, my friend. Appreciate you. As always, the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. So there we go. Thanks a lot. Let's go ahead, get more out to these comments here. Jeremiah says that's where I'm from, which is South Dakota. Thank you very much, Jeremiah, for tuning in. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, fire those cannons. Not a Tom Brady fan. I don't know what that's all about. Why aren't you a Tom Brady? Well, Tom Brady's not playing for the Bucs anymore, but you weren't a Tom Brady fan when he was playing quarterback. I don't know about that. I don't know if I believe that or not. Let's go out to Roger Shue. Raise up. What a joke. I know that you always love when the Rays lose. You always love that, don't you, Tribal Troll? You love that.
Acknowledge me.
But just remember, you're a Cubs fan, so the Cubs aren't playing too hot either. The Rays are up and down this year. If you want to talk about your Tampa Bay Rays after they fall to the Toronto Blue Jays tonight, 6-3, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391. What position battles are you looking at? I threw it out at you. Trey Palmer versus Jalen McMillan, the third wide receiving spot. The wide receiving spot in general, I think, is very strong. But, of course, it starts with Evans and Godwin. And then after that, it's kind of up in the air. Is the rookie going to beat out the second-year guy? Because Trey Palmer showed out today, too. He's got some speed. And we already talked about McMillan and what he's going to do. Bucky Irving as a running back. Is that a guy that you're looking at the end of the day for, this team as people continue to text me while I'm online? I appreciate that, but you hear that. And, of course, we're on I Love St. Pete, so that's why you're hearing that little chime right now as a lot of people are watching. Appreciate that. Thank you for the support. I tell you what, let's go out because we're expecting Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, but he's not on. I see you, Jim. I see you, Love Kendall. Thanks a lot for tuning in, as always. But you know what? Hold on a sec. We call this the evolution, and why? And people go, oh, it's a podcast. Well, it's a podcast. It's a podcast. No, it's not a podcast because it's live. And the reason why it's live here and in living color is because if I screw up, everybody sees it. It's on Facebook. It's on YouTube. It's on Instagram. It's on TikTok live right now. And we're also going to go out to the phone calls and phone lines. One of my favorite webheads from Newport Richie, Mr. Curtis, leading it off here on the Sports Web. What's on your mind? First day of training camp for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Your thoughts?
Hey, man. Just excited for football to be right around the corner, man.
Man, you got to get more excited than that. Come on now, Curtis. Let's start this over again.
No. I'm still at work and we're closing, so.
Oh, you're closing, so you can't be excited at work. What do you do again for work?
I mean, I can be, but I'll be more excited when I get that 420 in my lungs.
Okay, well, listen, this is what we're going to do, okay? This is your assignment tonight. I know you're closing. It's closing time, right? Everybody's singing that song at the end of the night. I want you to give me, I'll go Tampa, you go Bay. Tampa!
Hey!
Tampa!
Hey!
Tampa!
Hey!
Now, you can start off the call. That's what I'm talking about. Bring your passion, bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. There we go.
So
now, hopefully I don't get you fired.
I got a question for you.
Yes, go for it.
What are you most excited about to watch this season?
The offensive line. As crazy as that sounds, the offensive line with Graham Barton
We
solidifying.
could have a top 10 offensive line.
I'm telling you, Bleacher Report doesn't necessarily think so. Once again, the disrespect from the national media.
It's the same media that
Yes.
said we were going to win 3 games last year.
Yes, it is. It's
Yeah.
and they're trying to be right this time. It's ridiculous. Like, stop trying to be right all the time. You were wrong. Okay.
I don't
Admit you were
listen.
wrong. Yes.
I don't listen to any of that crap that's coming out of their mouths
Mm-hmm.
because it's crap.
Right.
Okay, it really is.
Did you say crap?
And
That's what
yeah,
it is
because-
right there.
because-
Yes.
because here's the thing, you never know how an NFL season is going to go.
Right.
Remember, I don't know if you remember that show. There was a show. I forgot what channel it was on. It used to be called NFL Turning Point.
Yes.
That is literally an NFL season.
A Turning Point was on. What was it on? Was it on Spike or was it on NBC? It was on NBC
I don't know.
at the time. NBC Sports Network, and
But
then it
let's
became Peacock. Yes.
let's remember. I hate to glorify the glory days,
Sure.
but if we
Glorify it.
remember the turning point in that Bucs season when we won the Super Bowl with Tom Brady was when we were getting our ass spanked by Kansas City in the first half.
Yes.
And after that first half, it's like the light bulb came on.
Mhm.
It was either that game or it was that Atlanta Falcons game.
Well, I think it was definitely the Kansas City game because you saw the second half when Tyreek Hill was embarrassing the back end of the secondary, a.k.a. Carlton Davis at the time, which, wasn't a good plan to put Carlton Davis one-on-one coverage on Tyreek Hill. And, of course, they adjusted to that with Kansas City. The only touchdown they had was at Tampa International Airport. Oh, yeah, I went there with that. Again, I love doing that. But you're exactly right. That turning point was the second half where they went, after the loss, they go 8-0. And I think the turning point. Huh?
No, I'm talking to my boss.
No, you're talking to your boss?
Absolutely
Give
right.
that man a raise. He's calling my
I'm
show during work. You need to give that man a raise. He's a smart man.
I know that's right.
Yes, give him a raise.
I'm leaving right now.
You're leaving
But
right now. Okay.
Turning point was definitely that game during the season. And that defense, how that defense stepped up that after that game
Mhm.
was ridiculous.
Yes.
Because I remember.
How about the turning
remember-
point of the Saints game where the Saints are beating the Bucs and you're like, oh, God, here we go again. It's the same old thing. And Antoine Winfield makes the tight end fumble the ball. It changes the complexion of the game completely where the Bucs get back the ball and eventually they take the lead. I mean, that's a turning point. You're exactly right. And you asked me a question, not only the offensive line am I looking forward to, that back end with getting Jordan Whitehead back and getting a rookie that's as smart as Tyke Smith from Georgia and having Zion McCollum now replace a Carlton. I love Carlton Davis, but he couldn't stay healthy.
I
He
love
couldn't stay
Carlton
on the
Davis.
field.
The other thing was how good that offense looked, and I know it was a terrible Detroit team, but how good that offense looks against that Detroit defense. It was like we finally got to see that team open up and play offense,
Sure.
And then I kind of felt like after we beat New Orleans in New Orleans in the playoff game, I'm like, if we don't win the Super Bowl, it's a wrap.
That's a wrap. That's it. Yeah.
Because here's the thing. Don't get me wrong. I think Aaron Rodgers is great.
Mhm.
I think Aaron Rodgers will never win another Super Bowl again.
Probably won't. You know why? Because he can't get on the field because he's too busy taking European trips there and missing mandatory minicamp.
This guy sucks.
Yeah, I mean, he's talented. He's absolutely supremely talented. But
Of
whether
course.
it's
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to say this.
Yes.
This generation of football, these quarterbacks nowadays these guys are just so breathtaking. I mean, they are all super talented in their own ways.
Right.
Like, it's I mean, you just get so much out of every guy. You get something different out of every guy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not a huge Matt Stafford fan, but Matt Stafford has probably one of the biggest arts I've ever seen on a quarterback since Brett Favre.
Absolutely.
Like that guy goes out there and he lays it all out on the line no matter what.
Right. And you just restructured his deal, by the way. I think it was like $59 million contract for the Rams.
Here comes the money.
So good for him to restructure that. So I tell you what, hold on a sec. Let's go ahead and get this guy on here. Let's get his intro on, Curtis, and we can finish up this call. Here we go.
Mr. Kennedy!
the Bay, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Welcome to the Evolution. You're on with yours truly, along with Curtis from Newport Richie. What's on your mind tonight, boss?
Why am I not surprised that Curtis is spitting knowledge tonight? No, I agree 100%. I mean, great points. I mean, 100%. And how you guys doing? I'm just
I'm doing great. I'm doing great, man. All right, Curtis, go ahead, man. So, what position battles are you looking forward to, and who's the rookie?
I'm ready. I'm ready to see what Bucky Irvin and Rashad White are going to do together.
Okay,
that is what I'm most interested in. Like, don't get me wrong, you're right with the offensive line,
sure,
but with the receivers and the tight ends, because I love Cade Otton. I'm gonna just go ahead and say it. I love that guy.
You got to love affair with Cade Otton. I tell you right now, he's definitely, I believe he's getting better and better, right? He's getting more confident. He showed that later on in the year. He had some critical drops, but he made some fantastic catches. And it seems like every time you hear something from Bucs camp, you hear about Cade Otton making a tough catch. So hopefully.
But if we can run the ball consistently,
right.
This is going to be a very dangerous offense.
It will
because
absolutely be very dangerous.
You already. I feel like Baker and Godwin are going to have a better year together this year. Right. And between Trey Palmer and all the 3s, 4s, and 5s that we have at receiver, I mean, you pick your poison.
Yeah.
Well, Curtis, let me ask you, Curtis. I'll ask both Curtis and Peter. Is it? Because I get the whole we're trying to find that running game and Bucky Irving, and we're like, I mean, I finally, to be honest with you guys, I looked at a video of this guy today, and I'm like, he's a dog. He's huge. He's a dog. Is it because are we indifferent that we don't think Rashad White's not going to have that success? He's not the guy, or is it because we think that? Go ahead. No, go ahead, Curtis.
I'm sorry. Absolutely not. And I'm sorry to cut you off. Absolutely not.
No, please.
The thing about it is in today's NFL. You got to have 2 running backs. You have to.
That's true.
Yeah. I mean, when is the last time we saw an Adrian Peterson or a LaDainian Tomlinson or any of those guys who was the bell cow?
I mean, Derrick Henry comes to mind for me, but you're exactly right. And you look at the average last year by White, 3.6, 3.7. What the Bucs are envisioning is hitting that average. Yeah, they're trying to get that average up so he doesn't have to carry the load. So you get a guy like Bucky Irving.
I'll give you 2 other examples.
Sure.
And then I'm gonna call you guys back. I gotta order an Uber.
Okay.
But the other 2 examples.
By the way, on the side, I have an Uber now.
You get a 10% discount by mentioning the Sports Web on Uber.
That's right. Let me go full screen there, guys. Drive Uber. That's like my 4th job. If you want to get in contact with my Uber, 727-255-0391. I drive a white Tesla around Holiday. True story.
Are you sure you're not Jamaican because you got like 8 jobs?
I got like 8 jobs.
Well, Curtis, let me tell you what. People don't realize when they're getting picked up, their Uber driver happens to be the ¡1 best reporter.
Can you imagine if your Uber driver pulls up with a Rolex on? I'm like, do I even need to pay this motherfucker?
No, you gotta pay him. You gotta pay him because he needs that bag.
Yeah, it definitely comes up in conversations. Let me just say that, and they're shocked.
But here's my example.
Yes.
Remember how bad the Rams and Dallas, they ran Todd Gurley and Ezekiel Elliott into the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you can go back to Tampa, the way John Gruden ran Cadillac Williams into the ground.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Like you know what I'm saying?
First 4 games of the season.
Yeah, you gotta listen at running back nowadays, you gotta have fresh legs.
Yeah.
You can't run guys into the ground. You can't. Because and don't get me wrong, you got Christian McCaffrey out here and these guys that are doing it, but you don't see guys with 15-year running back careers anymore.
Correct.
Because after they turn 30, 32, 33 years old, they're looking for fresh legs.
Yeah. Well, Peter, can I ask Curtis a question?
Sure.
The obvious big question is Saquon Barkley now goes from the Giants. The big story is Saquon said today he didn't realize his conversation with Schoen and going to the Eagles. Are you expecting Saquon to have a big year with the Eagles? Because number one, The Bucs still have a little bit of a problem with them going back to 99 and forever, but we're going to see them again this year. And of course, they're probably going to be in our way as we get to the playoffs. And number two, do you expect that to happen, or what are you looking to see Curtis there in Saquon in Philadelphia here?
I expect him and Jalen Hurt and the RPO to be freaking dangerous.
Ouch. Ouch.
Guys, I don't know what's scarier. Here's a question for you right now to contemplate. What's a scarier combination? Lamar Jackson with Derrick Henry,
Ooh.
or Jalen Hurts with Saquon Barkley?
Ouch.
They didn't have any.
And Curtis is doing work right now. Curtis,
But minus Jason Kelsey at center.
Right back.
okay, all right, man. Appreciate you as always, Curtis. We got Tampa Bay Ray on here. Let's go back out to the comments. Gabrielle says, "I'm amped." Great.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go out to David, Tampa Bay. That's what you can do here. You can call up and say that. Come on this program. Come strong to the mic there. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. Daniel Williams. Mr. Williams says, go Tampa Bay. 5-time NFC South. 4-time. 5-time playoff appearances there. Playoffs. Damn it, Jim.
Damn it, Jim. What the hell's the matter with you?
What's going on, buddy? Long time no here. Definitely a call was called. The show here and text in. Tim says Tampa Bay Ray. Jim again. Do you think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to win the NFC South this year? I definitely, unequivocally, Leo word, believe that they will win the NFC South with 11 wins. What do you say, Ray? Do you have as much confidence as I do? Or once again, am I the eternal optimist here in the Tampa Bay area?
Well, first of all, I've learned better than to go against anything you're talking about. Super Bowl or bust, 2020, COVID, Tom Brady, Peter Blake, the sports web. But the truth of the matter is, I mean, we could talk about Clint Kubiak there in New Orleans. We can talk about how Raheem's going to do, and Raheem's going to. And no offense to what Arthur Smith had going on with the Falcons, he just bad time, bad place. They still got some dogs there. Raheem's brought in an offense, and that's the thing that's kind of weird. Let me ask you guys and girls this tonight: is that now that we got the quarterback coach from LA and we got Liam Cohen, who was the offensive coordinator in LA, now all of a sudden the NFC South is going to become that Sean McVay / Mike McDonald / Kyle type of an offensive division? Is that the way the NFC South climbs out of the doldrums? Because I can't equate the NFC South with the NFC Least from 3 years ago. The NFC Least from 3 years ago sucked. The NFC South has potential. They just had some really bad breaks, and the Bucs have had some really great breaks. In 2024, the NFC South, I think, may be one of the, if not the best divisions in the entire NFC North or NFC division.
Well, don't tell CBS Sports that, because once again, the ultimate disrespect for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers continues from the national media. As we will focus on this, CBS Sports has this to say: the departure of Dave Canales, similar to the way Geno Smith took a step backward last season after Canales left for Tampa. I think Mayfield
really
is the same now that former Bucs OC in Carolina. He also goes on to say, with offensive coordinator Dave Canales in Carolina as the Panthers' new head coach, Mayfield takes a slight offensive coordinator Liam Cohen, brief established relationship from their time together with the 2022 Los Angeles Rams. So once again, all about tearing down Baker Mayfield. And I also want to ask you this. There was a report tonight Zach Eflin got traded. Of course, that's erroneous at this juncture because I haven't seen it. And now he's talking in the Rays press conference there with the Rays hat. So again, if there's something that happens, please be accurate about that. Maybe Zach Eflin will be traded. I don't think he's been traded yet. We'll keep an eye on that situation. But going back to it with Baker Mayfield, once again, the hate continues. And I saw this on social media where a group was upset because they put Baker Mayfield on the stadium. Hello, he's a franchise quarterback. Hello, he signed a $100 million contract. Hello, that's what you do with your quarterback. So what do you make, once again, of the disrespect by the national media on the Bucs and, of course, Baker Mayfield?
Well, one of the reasons why writing side saddle with you, Peter Blake, and the Sports Web is because I realized that because in today's day and age, maybe we can't spend as many resources at the local level, which is why I think you and I are both literally honored that our guy JC Allen at Sports Illustrated, who's one of our dogs and one of our guys who made it over the wall, can cover it so right. And if you're not checking out the Pirate Parlay podcast, please do that. But the fact of the matter is that these national media outlets, we see this with the local media. They get 45 seconds of sports coverage on a Friday night with all your high school and prep coverage, and they get like an extra half a minute because they got the sports extra coming on at 10:30 or 11:30 on a Sunday night. But the truth of the matter is that there's resources not. That's the reason why what you and I do here. That's the reason why what we're here in the sports web doing is so important. I think people they lose track of that. They're like, oh, these guys are just trying to do shares and get likes because no. The truth of the matter is we see that there is it's like the Matrix. We're like trying to we see the hole in the Matrix, and all we're trying to do is fulfill something here. So when you start telling me the Bucs aren't going to win the division or because of this or that or what's going and Baker Mayfield, the truth of the matter is I see. And again, the hardest job we do, Peter Blake, and I see you staying with me long, I appreciate that, is that we're trying to not look at it through fan goggles, even though we are fans because we've lived our entire lives. We're trying to look at it realistically. And realistically, in 2024, your Buccaneers are the team to beat as they go for their fourth consecutive title. And I've seen it called both ways. The Saints are going to knock them out or the Falcons are going to get great because Raheem. No, at the end of the day, the Bucs are the ones at the top. And anyone that wants to try to challenge us, come and get us. That's where we're at.
Yeah, because the hype is real with Kirk Cousins going to the Atlanta Falcons and, them thinking that he could be Matt Stafford or Tom Brady, but there's always a Russell Wilson type of case where it doesn't necessarily work out. And then on top of it, Cousins is trying to stay healthy. He's trying to come off of that injury, a 35-year-old quarterback that's getting paid over $100 million behind a very suspect offensive line, if you will. I get it. They have the skill positions on the outside. They may be pretty good defensively, but the offensive line is my main question. You look at Derek Carr, he was atrocious last year. The offense was atrocious. Dennis Allen, dead man walking, a coach in limbo at this point. And the Carolina Panthers, how many wins did they have last year? Dave Canales is the new coach. How long is the transition process for him being the new head coach? They need lots of talent there. So I think the Bucs are definitely in the driver's seat. And like you said, yeah, we've been here all our lives. We've called it like we see it. We do sometimes, our fanboys, if you will. But I don't think I'm a fanboy. I think I've gone about this and taken a look at it and done research and said, okay, this is the way I see it. And look, I was only one win away last year. If you out Houston, you got 10 wins instead of 9. All right. So I put my, records up against anybody. And oh, by the way, anybody trying to talk trash to me, 2020, when I predicted.
And I'll stop you there because, I was going to reference the fact that you were Super Bowl or bust. And I'm like, okay, we got Tom Brady, but there's a COVID, there's a literal world pandemic going on. How do you call that? You called it.
This is what they. There's a COVID going on, and you gotta do.
Don't go over the top now. You called it, but don't.
Football may be canceled, and the Bucs are 7-5, and the world is ending, and Tom Brady's washed up, and he's against Bruce Arians and all.
But Peter, let me stop you there because at the end of the day.
Yes.
Because I've been riding side saddle with you now for like almost going on 7 years. At the end of the day, the reason why you made that call, Super Bowl or bust, it wasn't just because of a pandemic or because of Tom Brady, because you and I both, we'd seen that this team that Jason Light put together. We saw a team here that even after the 30 for 30, whatever was behind door number 2 had a shot. And that's the reason why, again, working it back to the national media, they can take the low road and say the Bucs are getting knocked out by the Saints or the Falcons. But truth of the matter is, us here in the sports web, we're seeing it like we call it, and we're calling it like we see it.
That's it. All right, good stuff there. It's the sports web. I'm your host, Peter Blake, along with Mr. Let me go ahead and get his intro here.
Mr. Kennedy!
All right, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay. Thank you very much. Jeffrey says, Jeff Tamp. Okay, I don't know if he's trying to tag somebody. Jeffrey, I think it's the first time I've seen you on here. Thanks a lot for tuning into the Evolution. And I just want to see a good running game and a solid defense. I think that's what it comes down to. And that's the excitement for me with Bucky Irving, because all you've heard is, how he can make tacklers miss and how he's explosive and he can catch the ball, pass protection. Let's see about that. But How will the Bucs use him? How would they use him in this motion offense? And how good is he going to make White? How much is he going to push him? How much is he going to give him that rest? Because it goes back to that average 3.6, 3.7 yards per carry. The Bucs want to improve that. And then furthermore, I love Dave Canales, but I think what you learn from the Pirate Parlay podcast, say that 3 times with Jason Allen of the Sick Podcast Network. Even Cohen said this, as a new offensive coordinator, there's going to be new running plays there. So much more new running plays, not the transition that you have with Canales, because Canales has never been able to call plays in the National Football League. First-time offensive coordinator. Cohen has been there. I would expect this team to get off to a flying start, a running start, if you will. And I think the offensive line is going to be improved. And I'm going to go out to that press conference here in just a little bit. Mike Evans, even Mike Evans says the Bucs are a better team. So who are you looking forward to seeing? Who's your rookie? Who's your position battle that you're looking forward to seeing in training camp? And oh, by the way, guys, we're going to get Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, hopefully credentialed, because he's joining up with us here on the JP Peterson Show. We're going to get him out there. We're going to try to get him credentialed with the Bucs. We're going to get him as a made man. He deserves it. He's been with me since 2019 when we were doing shows on the sidewalk at Ferg's. That man has paid his dues. He's absolutely right. Ride or die with me, my friend. So go ahead and give me your thoughts on these position battles and, of course, the rookie that you're mostly paying attention to.
Peter, it's Graham Barton. It's this offensive line. And it's not just because of what a rookie Graham Barton and the Duke product, what this kid can bring this offensive line. But I think one thing, Jason Light's first draft pick was Mike Evans, and then he goes Jameis in 2015. He had to, because we were the shittiest team in the NFL, and Jameis was number 1 overall pick ahead of Marcus Mariota. But the truth of the matter is, one thing Jason Light has shown is he knows how to create dogs and a front, and he puts Graham Barton on this offensive line. And even as J.C. Allen of Sports Illustrated, name drop, posed the other day, even if Graham Barton were to start at left guard, because Hainsey, who honestly, let's be honest, guys and girls, in 2023, Hainsey proved, if nothing else, at center, he could hold his own. But even if Graham Barton's not ready to command or be the quarterback of this offensive line, my most exciting unit in the entire 2024, because I know Todd Bowles, I know this offense is going to be locked up. My entire exciting unit is this offensive line and how it will create the holes for the offense and Liam Cohen and what he's dialing in for Baker and the rest of this offense.
Again, open phone lines. If you want to talk about your Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Tampa Bay Rays tonight.
Wait, they lost?
Yeah, they lost. 727.
So they're back to 500. JP Peterson. So let's go and give JP a little love. JP, they're back to 500 for the 73rd time this season. But they're like a buoy. They're still staying upright.
Yeah, they're staying upright there. They lose to the Blue Jays tonight in the 8th inning, high leverage situation with Jason Adam, who's been fantastic and most likely should have been an all-star, but he didn't pitch like it tonight. And lately he hasn't pitched like it. And that's a big time key here. If you're going to play those close game situations where it's run prevention and pitching in those high leverage situations, you have to close the door. And they weren't able to do that tonight. To shift gears, you didn't tell me. Did you tell me your position battles you're looking for and your rookie that you're looking for, or did I?
Well, it's the offense. It's not just Graham Barton, because we're not even sure where he'll be. But yeah, the offensive line.
Okay. What about the back end? Tyke Smith there, Jordan Whitehead, Antoine Winfield Jr., which, by the way, ESPN has ranked the number 1 safety. Thank God you got that right. It took you long enough. Number 1 safety. And all of the league there. So, and the talk is that Tyke Smith could be another Antoine Winfield Jr. You got Zion McCollum. Are you excited about this back end?
Well, the thing is, I'm watching Receiver on Netflix, and I talked about how Zion went in for an injured Carlton Davis last season. We know Carlton Davis is now injured with the Lions. So I'm like, okay, so Jordan Whitehead, one thing we knew about Jordan, the way he brought it from the secondary position, was he came downhill, and he made guys regret carrying a ball. So on the back end or secondary, my this offseason, it's not so much what Zion's doing or how Antoine's doing, but I want to see a Jordan Whitehead. I even went as far as to look at the online posts for Buccaneers.com, and I'm like, let me see the pictures coming to camp. I got to Jordan Whitehead's picture, and guys and girls, call me out on this if you don't believe me here on a 10:08 on a Wednesday night. He had that look like been there, done that. And I'm like, you know what? That's what the secondary is going to need, because as much as we rely on that front with a Randy Gregory, I'm kidding, but as much as we rely on our linebackers with the KJ Britt, now for a Devin White, the truth of the matter is, if the secondary is letting Mitch Trubisky go, 5 touchdowns with the wheel routes, that's an issue. So I think I'm looking at Zion McCollum, or not Zion, but Zion to step up, but also Jordan Whitehead to come back in here and establish the reason why the Jets gave him that free agent contract in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. And even Jason Light admitted about a month ago how it was a mistake to let him go, and now he's back. So I'm excited about that move, and I think it's an under-the-radar move that improves that back end tremendously. Good evening, gentlemen. What's going on, Christopher? Let's go out to Christopher Cole. So two Christophers in a row here. Love that. Canales' running game was so predictable. Agree with that. Good comment. And also Alan McTavish. DJ Max there. Mad Max is watching there from Fergs. And again, keep on tuning into the Sports Web, because Bucs season is right around the corner. You also know we have a streaming show here. We're going to get out to Tailgate. We're going to get out to Bucs Life and What the Buck, and just try to conversate with you fans and get you a part of the evolution and show you that there are Bucs platforms out there that can do streaming shows. When they say you can't be on TV, it's not true. We bring our cameras. We bring our lights.
That's what we're all about. That's what we're literally all about.
All about, just telling everybody, well, you can't do this. We're all about making you feel stupid at the end of the day.
Oh, that's me.
We can't do that. All right, especially you, Ray. Let's go.
Well, that's me.
Oh, shut up. Let's go out to Curtis here. Curtis, what's going on? Welcome back to the Evolution.
Why would we talk about the Rays when we could talk about the Red Sox?
Well, what do we?
Well,
we could definitely talk about the Red Sox, because they're playing a lot better than the Rays are right now. So, what do you have to say about your Red Sox?
I'm impressed. I really am impressed.
Yeah. Okay.
Like I didn't think those guys are swinging those bats, man. Like, really are.
Yeah.
So I think this Yankee series is going to be pivotal this weekend coming up.
Well, Curtis, do you think your Red Sox have a shot? Are they in a position that you think because I've seen them. They've been ahead of our Rays. They've been ahead of the Rays and they're doing their thing. Do you think they're in a position they can strike out and give the Yankees and the Orioles a shot at the AFC East or the AL East? Or are you just in a position like, let's just make the wild card and let's see where it goes?
I think we need another year.
Okay.
I think we'd be a good wild card team, but I think we need another year. We need a nice, good pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, man. You listen. You never know how baseball season's gonna go, because me and Peter talk about this all the time. We the Rays last year. What were they, like 25-3? At the very beginning of the year.
Stop.
It seems so long ago how we were saying, World Series, here we come. Nobody's stopping us. And then the first round versus
but okay, I won't even bash the Rays. Let's talk about the Astros. Look what the Astros have done.
Yeah.
The Astros have come out of nowhere, and they're whooping people's ass right now.
Well, I got my co-host here, Mr. Harry the Greek. He says, I want to talk sports. You can talk sports. You know where the link is. If you're not tired, I miss you, buddy. Absolutely miss you.
Yeah, where's Harry at anyway?
Harry is working a lot, and I definitely understand that.
We want to talk about Caleb Williams and why he's trying to bankrupt the Bears.
Yes. Well, we want to talk about Hard Knocks that's coming up. Are you excited about that? Curtis, are you excited about it, Ray, yourself with Hard Knocks? I know when Hard Knocks comes on, that's when I feel like here's the things that come on that I know, okay? The first day of training camp, Hard Knocks, Madden the football game, just got done playing college football tonight. James beat me with Florida State. I had USF, Byron Brown let me down.
You carried Byron Brown to the championship against USF and barely lost?
FSU, 21-14, played a college football game.
Okay.
So when football season is about to start with everything like that happening, I want to go out to these comments really quick. Wow, Ray Kennedy not out on the street corner drinking a beer? Absolutely. He's in his house. He's a man.
Drinking a beer.
He's still drinking the house. I'm on my way. Thank you, Mr. Williams. We appreciate you. Scott Broadway here. Buccaneer defensive end, offensive line looks awesome. Ready for the season. Raise the flag. Fire the cannons. Oh, Scott, I got this for you. Ready?
Let's go!
You need a new sound effect right there. Come on.
Hold on, just for Scott.
I do hate to change the subject real quick.
How about them
But
Bucks, baby?
Yes.
I am very excited to watch Kalijah play next to Vita this year.
Oh, I think that's another, and again, I'm talking about rookies.
Oh my God.
Well,
Like
Vita
this guy's
has lost,
potential.
right. Vita's lost weight, right? He's gotten down, so it means he's gotten faster. Okay, he's still strong at the point of attack. You're exactly right there. You have Kalijah Cansey, and you also have Yaya Diaby. And everybody's talking about Randy Gregory. I get it. Yaya Diaby, Kalijah Cansey, your two building blocks. Yes.
Listen, if you have Kalijah and Yaya next to each other and Vita
Brother.
and Kalijah, that is terrifying.
Yes.
Let me tell you guys, I have been this excited about interior Buccaneer defensive line since Culpepper and Sapp. And I'm not just trying to go because those are the best days. The truth is, Kalijah.
Whoa. What about Booger and Sapp?
No, I love Booger. I'm just saying Booger and Sapp were great, but I'm talking about that was the initial. It was Culpepper. It was Sapp. Dungy came over from Minnesota. But what I'm saying, though, is about Kalijah Cansey. This rookie out of Pittsburgh last year, he was injured. And I'm there at the preseason game versus the Miami Dolphins preseason game, and he's in the end zone while the rest of the teams are off the field, Curtis, and he's hitting the end zone, and he's looking over toward the Miami sideline. And later on, he said the reason why he was looking toward the Miami sideline is because that's what gave him motivation. I'm like, whoa. You got a dog like that inside. The rookie last year, of course, second year now out of Pittsburgh, again, inside with the Vita Vea. I was just so excited as a Buccaneers fan, which is why, again, I continue to question why the national media says it may be the Saints, it may be the Falcons. I'm like, do you guys not understand that this Buccaneers team is loaded?
Yeah, they're loaded.
Well,
In some definitely some positions, and
They hate us. They hate us.
They hate us.
Chip on the shoulder, buddy. Chip on the shoulder.
Anybody that's been associated with Tom Brady, they hate.
They hate us because they ain't us. Let's go out to Scott Broadway. I think that could be stars. If it is, Facebook stars are available. If it's not, appreciate you tuning in. Always welcome here, Bucs Nation. Always love the new
The other two things that I have to say before I get off the phone, because I got to go in the house and do a couple things real quick. Well, I got to get prepared for my
turnbuckle talk.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
But congratulations to Shaq Barrett. I'm happy for you, brother, and you know what? Everything he went through in the last year or two with his kid and stuff like that, for him to go out on his own terms, man, I'm happy for him. I really am, man.
Yeah, I think we were surprised by that, but you go out on your own terms, and it's all about your family and Shaq.
I mean, but you got to remember, the guy was undrafted.
Yeah.
He was undrafted.
Hey, let me ask Curtis, Peter, again, of the Colorado State Ram. But do you guys, when you see that Shaq doesn't report, lets Miami know he's retiring, and we go back and we think about the players over time, not a Shelton Quarles or a Derek Brooks, but players where the Buccaneers finally said, look, we love you. You're iconic. I'm not comparing Shaq Barrett to Derek Brooks, but I'm saying, do you guys start seeing a trend here that when the Bucs tell you we're good, it's not that we're saying you couldn't play again, but players generally don't tend to leave here and go elsewhere because they've been here and they're done.
Yeah, they're done. I mean, a couple examples come to mind that weren't done. John Lynch at the time. That was
ouch. Yeah.
Sorry.
I got a prediction for both of you guys.
Yes, go for it. Give it to me.
Somebody gets hurt for Tampa. I could see them trying to bring Shaq in.
Well,
that would.
I think he's still under contract with the Dolphins, though. I'm not sure.
Ouch.
No, he only had a 1-year deal.
Well, that would be this year, though, Curtis.
Yeah.
No, that was last year.
No, it's this year.
No, he was here last year.
Yeah, he was here.
You don't know it, though, because he was kind of getting to that place. So, it's like, hey, Shaq, we love you, but, maybe you're not that $19.5 million a year guy or a 19.5 sack a year guy.
Yeah.
But, no, let him respect.
The other one is my heart goes out to the Kiffin family.
Yeah.
Dude, I was a huge Kiffin guy.
Okay.
That guy was so rah-rah, like, you know, they didn't show a lot of Monty Kiffin in those Super Bowl years. That Super Bowl year with Gruden.
But Bucs fans knew though, didn't they, Curtis?
You talk about juice for an old man. Oh my God.
Yeah.
This guy was, to me, I'm sorry, he's a top 5 defensive coordinator all time. Period.
The architect of the Tampa 2,
The Tampa 2 should be called the Kiffin 2.
The funny thing is that I want to say that between Tony Dungy and Monty Kiffin, it was a perfect Jekyll and Hyde. But they were both the good guy. It wasn't like one was a bad cop, one was a good cop. The truth of the matter is Tony Dungy and his concepts, the way he saw defenses, the way he realized he wanted to play this Buccaneers defense, but to have Monty Kiffin selling it to the guys day by day, a John Lynch, a Rodney Barber, a Warren Sapp, a Derek Brooks, 4 Hall of Famers, by the way. Iconic, though, brother. Curtis, you're so right.
Curtis, thanks a lot for the call, man. Appreciate the call. We'll look forward to the turnbuckle call here. Thanks a lot. As always, open phone line 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. Let's go out to Christopher O'Reilly. If JTS doesn't produce, will he be gone or does he already have a foot out the door? I think it's a big year for him. You hope, because he's a former first-round pick, that he can be productive. But I think the writing is on the wall, guys. And the reason why you drafted Chris Braswell is because JTS hasn't been that productive. Tampa Bay Ray, you got any final thoughts? Because I want to go out to this Mike Evans press conference, unless you want to hang out for a little bit until we start turnbuckle talk, because we got Mike Evans. I want you to hear this press conference. So you want to hang around for a little bit here, or do you want to get out of here?
I want to see the press conference. Go.
All right. Stand by here. Let's go out to Mike Evans today as he was talking to the media about the expectations of this year, and of course, eclipsing that record from Jerry Rice here on the evolution of Sports Talk Television, the Sports Web. Enjoy.
Great shape. Look like you're in great shape now, but day one, come out here and make so many plays right off the bat. Does that show some of the chemistry you and Bake have forged over the last year?
Yep. It's hard though. It's hard. It's hot every year. I mean, it's hard to get used to it first day, but it's just a little carryover from OTAs and last season.
We saw during the off-season, there's some social posts of you working out, a lot of conditioning. What went down for you this off-season?
I had a great off-season. I usually always have a great off-season. I get to spend time with my family, relax, recover, and just do things I like to do. And that's work and just hang out with my family, play video games, go to the movies, do all that fun stuff. And I got it out the way, and I'm ready to work.
There were so many people outside this organization didn't believe that you guys had the ability to make the playoffs last year. Obviously, you proved them wrong. How different it is going in this year than it was last year? You know, the fact that Baker's settled.
Yeah, I mean, just last year I knew. I mean, we heard all the talk about us we lost Tom, we're going to be trash and things like that. But we knew the caliber of players that we had. And this year we're going to be better. I feel like, I mean, it's already showing. I know it's just day one, but OTAs, it was different than it was the year before. Like, we know Baker's going to be the guy. Last year we didn't know that preparing. So it's a lot more continuity and just learn a new offense and we'll be good.
Like, first goal is to win this division again. It's to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, you start with the division, but everybody's goal is to win the Super Bowl.
Like, first impressions, Liam Cohn.
I like him. You know, I talked to him even before I resigned, and that's another reason why I wanted to sign back, because he had all these plans to continue to give me the ball, and I love to hear that. That just makes me happy. So yeah, I like him a lot.
What kind of philosophy, Mike?
Everything. I mean, just run the ball, pass the ball, be efficient, no turnovers. So that's pretty much every offensive coordinator.
Nice play on the right sideline. I think Zion was in coverage. It was just a small window where only you can make it. Baker zipped it right in there. What does that say about Baker and your chemistry, and then even like the play of Zion for being right on your hip right there and making you force that?
Yeah, Zion, that's my guy. Galveston, that's my guy. So we've been getting a lot of work his first 3 years now, and he's improving. And Baker has really good ball placement. And that was a third down play he puts where only I could put it. So that's just our repetition.
Mike, the rest of the years you've played a lot of split end, a lot of flanker. In this 3-by-1 set, you're going to be inside some. A bunch of formation. What is that going to do for your game, and what schematically do you like about Liam Cohen's offense? Because it's a little different than.
Well, it's a lot more movement, so defenses can't just sit there and just know what we're doing. So it's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of eye candy, and that's going to help me and our team a lot. So I mean, yeah.
Any concerns about Team USA basketball, Mike?
No concerns. We got Bron James. We got a lot of other great players. We're gonna ramp it up when it really counts.
Mike, what do you think of the new college football video game? Have you played it yet?
I played. It's so hard. It's tough, really tough, really tough. But it's a great game. I'm happy they came back out with it. I see that they released my card so people can play with me, my Texas A&M player. So that's cool.
As a guy who kind of went through some contract negotiations issues last year, have you spoke to Tristan at all? Obviously, you know, he held in during OTAs, but was out here with his teammates kind of following kind of footsteps on what you did last year. Any conversations on that?
I mean, I don't talk to him about his contract because I haven't really talked to him about that. I mean, we talk a lot, though. You know, I've been knowing him for a while now. He's one of our best players, if not the best player we have. So we need him bad. So hopefully we get that right.
How awesome was it kind of seeing him? I know maybe the plan might have just been to do some indies, and then obviously
and he was just out there the whole time.
Like, let's go.
Yeah, he was here in OTAs, just working out and doing his thing, being in the building, showing face when he's under those, you know, talks. A lot of players don't do that, especially in voluntary OTAs. So that just speaks to the level of character and the leader that he is.
For more than a decade now. Just
it's crazy.
First day of camp, like, is the feeling any different? Just how does it feel getting back in the grass and knowing that, hey, like, we're starting this journey, this marathon again?
It's a blessing always to start a training camp healthy and go out here and just do what I love to do and live out my dream. You know, obviously it's not easy. It's difficult, but I'd rather be nowhere else than here. So, you know, I'm happy I get to do this. I've been seeing pictures of me, my first camp when I was 240 pounds, out of shape, but I was just a young, just hungry kid. And, you know, I still have that same hunger, just got smarter.
You know, a lot of work in for the offseason trying to digest Liam's system. As I was saying, there's still so much more that you've got to take in. How much do you think you've taken in, and how comfortable are you with this new plan?
Well, it helps a lot if you go to OTAs. So I went to OTAs this year for a few weeks, and that helped me a ton. Last year, I went about 1 week. So it was a little bit harder for me to learn the system quicker, but a lot of the plays are the same. Y'all have heard me say that plenty. It's just verbiage is different. But just getting the verbiage down completely and the no huddle stuff, that's the hardest part.
Mike, what are you expecting out of Chris this year, another year removed from his injury? Mike?
A great year. I mean, y'all seen him today. He looks like he's in mid-season form. He was making plays, going deep. Looks like the 2019 Chris Godwin. So he's always been an unbelievable leader and player for us, and I expect no different this year.
I'm not trying to take touchdowns away from you, Mike, because you tied for the league last year. But
no, I should have been
are you surprised? What would it take for Godwin to get more involved in the end zone a little bit?
So give him some more red zone opportunities. You know, kind of look back at the film in 2019. We gave him a lot of opportunities, fades, seam balls, screens, all those things. He can do all those routes. We just got to put him on it more.
A lot in your career. You've won a Super Bowl as well. How do you continue to challenge yourself this many years into your career?
Well, I'm super competitive. Y'all know that about me. Y'all been covering me for a long time. I'm down on myself more than anybody else could be. So there's more for me to do in my career. There's more that I feel I need to do. I love to win, and you know, I'm chasing history.
As far as goals, one of those milestones here is time Jerry Rice for the most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons. What goals do you have for this year? What have you kind of put up there on the vision board that you're hoping to accomplish?
I mean, that's one of them. I don't like list off things, but that's one of them that's in the back of my mind because everybody's talking about it. And that's been a record around for how many years now? Over 20 years. So that's something I definitely want to accomplish and just help the team win ball games and be better than we were last year.
Mike, what have you seen from McMillan so far? He made some plays in OTAs, and you see him catching some grabs today. What have you seen from the rookie?
Super polished rookie, smart. Last night at the hotel before curfew, he's out. I come in and he's in there with a couple other guys doing walkthrough for the plays today. And I said, man, this is a new offense for me too. Let me get some of these plays. So they're keeping me motivated and keeping me sharp. So J-Mac, I look for him to have a great year for us.
To hear Coach Bowles talk about how you want more than a division title, you had 6 years here without any playoffs at all. Do you step back to think about what it's like to be going for a 5th straight playoff appearance?
Should be 5 straight, right? Dang. We came a long way. You know, we came a long way. We had some things happen free agency wise and with the team and our players getting better over time. Our management team has been doing a great job. So I look back on those times and I never want to go back. So we're always trying to fight to get in the playoffs. And then obviously when we get in the playoffs, you see what we can do.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank y'all.
All right, welcome back to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television. It's the Sports Web. That was Mike Evans today. I'm your host, Peter Blake. Let's go out to Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy. Want to go out to this comment really quick, and then we'll talk about this Mike Evans press conference. Christopher O'Reilly, JTS won't be going anywhere. He's still extremely young, working into his body. We won't give him a fifth-year option or franchise tag, but he will likely work to re-sign him unless he chooses to be greedy. In that case, he'll be gone. If he's not productive, he really doesn't have any value, so he may come to the Bucs cheap. Want to go out to Mr. Williams. Ralph Williams is waiting in the background there. Stand by. We'll have all turnbuckle talk, but I want to get out to Mr. Williams. Welcome to the Evolution of Sports Talk Television, my friend, as it is the first day of training camp for your Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
First of all, I want to say good afternoon. And
well, good night, my friend. Not good afternoon.
Well, yeah, that too. But right anyway, man.
Yes,
hey,
Mr. Williams. Yes.
Shots out, go out to Jason Wright. Man, it's a good thing to see Mr. Worth back out there on the offensive line today.
Correct.
He looked real good. Harry the Greek, wherever you at, hope you're working real hard. Because
He's working.
Hold on, Mr. Williams. Go ahead.
I say I hope Harry the Greek is working real hard because I'm on my way.
Yeah, you're on your way to get your
soon.
yes, because you're still owed wings, and I gotta play his song because he hasn't been on for a while, and I miss him.
There you go.
Yeah, we miss you here.
Opa.
Right there, here on the Evolution.
But though,
yes.
All right. My defense.
Yeah.
We're gonna have more pass rushing. We got to get more pass rushing this year. And Rashad White, you're gonna have work to do because the talent that we got coming in now.
Yeah.
Them guys are quicker and they moving fast now.
Yeah, there are. And, Bucky Urban is a rookie, so he may have an opportunity there to make a contribution to this team. Absolutely.
Antoine Winfield Jr., my man, keep up the good work.
Yes.
Hats off to number 31.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jordan Whitehead, welcome back.
Welcome back. Welcome back, Whitehead. Welcome back.
Hey,
can you sing "Welcome Back"? Can you sing "Welcome Back" harder? But you can say
Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Yeah, but so, and that brother that said something about Mike Evans that you ain't gonna. That is sad that you're in the league for like 10 years. Come on, man.
Mr. Williams, can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes, go ahead,
sir.
Mr. Ray.
You just saw that soundbite that Peter played there here in the Sports Web on the Mike Evans conference, and can I ask you, as one Buccaneer fan to another, did you not listen to what Mike was saying? You realize this guy's had like 73 offensive coordinators. He's had like 16 head coaches. And you realize what he's saying, everything he's saying, every word I'm hearing Mike saying is he's talking about Liam Cohen and the offense. And this, all I'm hearing is first ballot Hall of Famer. Am I not right there, Mr. Williams?
Yes, you are. After it's all over, they can give him his gold jacket because Mike deserves it. Levante Davis, he deserves it.
Yes.
Yes.
Because Levante 54 is the last of the Buccaneers.
Yes.
He's the last one.
Absolutely, my friend.
He is the last one.
Well, Levante David and Mike Evans definitely, in my opinion, are Hall of Famers. Yes.
Yes.
They are. Them two guys there are the last one. And and also R.I.P. go out to the Kitchen family, man.
Yes.
Marty, you're gonna be missed, man, but we're gonna man, like you will always be a Buck at Raymond James.
Uncle Monty.
Yes, the mad
Yeah.
scientist. Yes,
Uncle
absolutely.
Monty.
Mr.
Yeah,
William,
that's the captain of
yes.
the Tampa 2.
The architect
He
of the Tampa
made-
2. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's the captain of the Tampa 2 because there was no other team that they made since 47 and 55 and 99. And number 20. Them was
I agree, man.
There was the roots.
Yes, it was definitely
of
the
that,
roots of the team. Yes.
Good times.
Yes.
Yeah, man, of that cover 2, man, of that Tampa 2. Them guys was the roots.
Absolutely. The
of
roots.
That, man.
I love
But,
that group,
hey,
by the way. The roots.
Yeah, it was the roots of the Tampa 2, man. But right, hey, Baker Mayfield, hey, you got a lot of haters out there this year.
Yep, that's it. He's got a lot to prove, my friend, or nothing to
Yeah.
prove, but he's always going to prove it with this
And
Tampa Bay
shout out
Buccaneer
to,
team. Shout out.
Cage,
Another shout out.
My middle linebacker,
KJ Britt. Yeah, dog.
Not JJ
Yeah,
Brett, his
he is
brother.
a-
KJ Britt.
Yeah, KJ. He's an animal, man.
He's a dog.
He is definitely.
He's a dog.
Right, the
Yeah.
dog, right? You know, the little things that I seen him do this evening.
Yes.
He was all right, but Kyle Trask, man, he just needs to go ahead on the Piper.
Wait, what happened?
He was not good today.
This guy sucks.
Who wasn't good today?
Kyle Trask. Yeah, he was not good.
Oh wait, come on now. You know, and JP threw it in earlier. Oh, Kyle had to overthrow and got tipped to a lucky interception. The fact of the matter is, Bucs fans, Kyle Trask is your number 2 quarterback going into 2024. There's not another quarterback in this league you'd want number 2. I'm just saying.
Brother, though, man, I will give mine. Man, I'll put the rest of the season if Baker go down, bring in number 11.
All right, Mr. Williams, you're absolutely entertaining us.
Always a pleasure. Always.
All right, man.
I appreciate
you guys be good, man. I'll call back before it's all over.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you, Mr. Williams. Great stuff.
I love Mr. Williams because we can wax back and forth between this, but the man brings nothing but facts except for the Kyle Trask take. Why did Kyle Trask get drugged in that take?
Because he wasn't good today.
He wasn't good today.
Let's see here. Let me go out to Christopher Cole. I was leaning to, or Christopher O'Reilly, excuse me. I was leaning towards a prove it myself deal. Differently able to, I don't know what this is. Let's go Super Bowl Eagles. Okay, you're an Eagles fan, but you do know that the Bucs beat them in the round. What was that, 32-9?
Ew.
Let's go out to Jim here. Christopher O'Reilly, he averages 40 tackles a year as a rotational guy. I think there's a lot of competition, but can be the Golston type of guy for us. Too solid to let lead, but not great enough to consider a star. Good comment there.
The Golston tie-in's a great tie-in.
It is. And let's go out to differently again. Philadelphia Eagles season. With that being said, go ahead and give me some final thoughts here on the evolution.
Well, the final thoughts is, and this one's to JP Peterson, who, by the way, you guys locked down that show this morning on JP Peterson show. The Rays are back to 500 for the 183rd time this season. So the buoy continues to stay upright. They haven't gone down, so you stay positive. Bucs, tomorrow's the first day we have fans there at camp, and we get to get excited. I mean, we've been excited. And the truth is, the matter is, they say there's no such thing as an off season. There is no more such thing as an off season. We're so excited for the Buccaneers. I'm looking forward to the offensive line production. And I'm looking forward to the next time I can actually be in a sports web when Mr. Williams calls in, because that was awesome. Peter, thanks, brother. Let's do some turnbuckle talk.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get you on to do some wrestling talk here eventually. Again, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, appreciate you. Let me give you his outro. Mr.
Some love you, brother.
Oh, me too. All right. See you later with that. We got to get Mr. Ralph Williams here an intro. Eventually, we'll figure that out. Let's get on to Turnbuckle Talk about WWE, AEW action as we're cracking up. Open phone lines, as always, if you want to talk professional here on the show, 727-255-0391 and 727-255-0391. And less than 2 weeks away from SummerSlam. What do you think about all these storylines that have unfolded? Mr. Ralph, welcome to the evolution of Sports Talk Television.
Appreciate you having me here tonight, Peter. It's great to be here as always. And I just wanted to say good luck to Cansey, Dennis, Whitehead, and Corey Mock. Those are my 4 favorite players for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Absolutely, especially Mock at the right guard situation there.
Yeah.
Second year, putting on size. He definitely could be a standout guard for this team going forward. We'll see how it goes. Cansey, Savasi, Dennis, I think the world of them, especially Dennis, and we already talked about Jordan Whitehead.
Yeah, it's good to see Jordan Whitehead back, with you guys.
Yes,
so.
absolutely. Liv Morgan. After Mr. Williams' call, I'm trying not to laugh my ass off. But Liv Morgan there coming out the other night. You have Dominic. You have Rhea Ripley. Why do I think that Dominic is going to turn on Rhea? What do you say?
I think it's going to happen. Dom is getting himself ready. I think he's going to go in with Santos Escobar and in that faction. I think the Judgment Day's toast right now. Damian Priest is still the champ. We're going to find out what happens after SummerSlam against Gunther. And, that's going to be, you know what? Damian Priest showed me a couple things lately. And, I think Gunther thinks it's going to be an easy match. I think it's going to be challenging for Gunther.
Definitely going to be a challenging match, and I think it's going to be a good match at the end of the day. We'll see how it works out. Now, let's go ahead and go out to our phone lines here. Let's go out to Frankie from Wisconsin, the Hill Mark himself. Welcome to Turnbuckle Talk here on the Sports Web.
What is going on, my fellas?
What's going on, Joe Henry?
What's going on, Frankie?
I wish I was Joe Henry.
I'm telling you, man, that guy is over, and you made so many reels, and you're getting all kinds of views. I hope there's a guy followed you yet, because we're on Joe Henry follow watch. Has that happened yet?
No, he has not followed me yet.
Okay, all right. If you don't know,
hey, you know what? NXT, man, Hendry, Ethan Page. I mean,
Yeah, Shawn Michaels doing a bang-up job there. Really is.
Yes, he did. Yes, he has.
If you guys are not familiar with Joe Hendry's work prior to anything that he's done just in NXT, or if anything that he's done in TNA,
right?
Yeah.
If you haven't seen anything that he's done in anything prior to TNA, you got to see it, because he did quite a feud with Joe Coffey in GCW, and oh gosh, what's the other promotion over in the UK? I'm trying to remember now. Oh gosh, Ralph, do you know it?
I'm not real sure. I don't follow UK wrestling. I really don't know.
UK wrestling. I'm trying to think of. I don't know. I know that he's a big time story, and I know that you're a big time fan of his. So, what's on your mind tonight? Because we were just talking about Liv Morgan, and then Rhea Ripley and Dominic, and I feel like Dominic is definitely going to turn on Rhea here at SummerSlam.
With that, I think it's going to be like a oops accidental thing.
See, I think it's going to be blatant.
I mean?
I think it's going to be blatant. I think it's going to be absolutely blatant.
Turn into
Yeah, I don't see that happening
I mean?
because I think what
By
they're
the
trying
way,
to do, they're trying to make Ripley a baby face. So in order for you to do that,
into a baby face,
yeah.
And here's the thing: like, I know Dom's gonna get a baby face turn. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, I think he's a heel. I think he's got heel heat. It's so good.
He's got that heel heat on him, but he's like you. Excuse me. Whether you love him or you hate the guy.
Mm.
Now, the people that hate him, those are just your casual wrestling fans. The guys that love him are your real wrestling marks, like us here. Because Dominic Mysterio, dude, he's like one of my top guys right now, dude.
Mm.
Dude, I'm the heel mark, dude. That's why they call me the heel mark.
Right.
Dude, I follow them heels, dude.
I know you do. I know you definitely do, man. What else are you looking forward to here with WWE or AEW? What have you been watching? What have you been keeping an eye on here, Frankie?
What am I keeping an eye on is, oh man, TNA is. I got to tell you this. With the TNA, you just had Slammiversary, which for people that don't know, TNA, Slammiversary is the equivalent to WrestleMania.
Correct.
For WWE.
Correct.
So at Slammiversary, you had Joe Hendry do standing ovation, which is his finishing maneuver, which is a choke slam on Moose, and then pin him. Now, Moose, at that time, going into that elimination match, was the TNA World Champion. Now, typically, when you're doing booking in a match like that, if you have a guy that's going to pin the world champion, you're thinking that's going to be the guy that's going to win the match, right?
Right.
So you're thinking, oh man, are you going to pull the hammer? You're going to drop the hammer on Hendry. And then he immediately then gets pinned right after. And you're like, well, now I'm thinking he is actually coming to WWE. And then you just last night, you see Joe Hendry is coming to the Great American Bash for a live concert. And you see
live concert.
you see Gallus coming out and they're getting pissed. Like I said, the Joe Coffey feud was like legendary with Joe Hendry in the UK. Don't shake your head at me. That I want them to drop that hammer for Joe Coffey and Joe Hendry because that's going to be amazing.
Okay. All right. Thanks a lot, Frankie. Appreciate the call as always here on Turnbuckle Talk. All right.
All right.
All right. He loves Joe Henry, man. Now Joe Henry's
I know.
And see all the reels. He does great stuff there here on Turnbuckle Talk. Sitting says go Bucs. Absolutely. Go Bucs as always.
How about them Bucs, baby?
Let's go out to CM Punk, and this was revealed here in the interview on All Castle Pro Wrestling Illustrated, which NXT Women's Champion Roxanne Perez revealed that CM Punk has been trying to get AJ Lee, of course, who he's married to in real life, used to be a pretty good wrestler also, to end her retirement. Perez says, definitely, yeah, I tried to talk to CM Punk about convincing AJ Lee to return, but he tells me that he's doing the same thing. He's trying to get her to come back. He's pulling her in, but I hope one day she decides to come back and have a match with me. Also, Punk has had this to say about the situation since his return in WWE since November. She's got so many irons in so many fires, according to Sean Reeder of Cage Side Seats. I always say I'm a bad husband because I never know what project she's talking about. Oh, I have a meeting. I'm like, okay, with who? Is it Netflix? Is it Hulu? Is it CBS? I don't know. She's got so many irons and so many different fires. And I would say, as a fan of hers, would love to see her back in the ring. AJ Lee back in the ring for WWE. How much of a win is that?
Absolutely. You know, the WWE women's division is just out of sight. I mean, and if Charlotte Flair comes back, oh my gosh, and AJ Lee, if she comes back, I mean, right now they're even hot. Jay Cargill. I mean, it's just been one after the other. WWE has really, the last 6 months or more, has really done a great job of bringing in some of these women wrestlers. They're doing way better than AEW.
Yeah, they really are. You're absolutely correct about that. And again, it's long-term storytelling, long-term booking. that WWE is getting it right and AEW is not getting it right. Want to go back out to the phone lines. I believe this is Frankie using his second call here on Turnbuckle Talk. What's on your mind, boss?
Well, you're talking about the women's division.
Yes, I am.
And let me just say this. First off, AJ Lee, I don't think she would ever come back. She's making hand over fist, right? Writing books. She's got no need to come over unless it would be like a favor for her husband.
Why not a dream match? Why not be in WWE? Do you ever lose that?
Please.
Do you ever lose that itch as a wrestler? I always ask that with football players. You were talking about Tom Brady. Does Tom Brady ever lose that itch? And the last couple of years, you're kind of surprised that the retirement rumors coming out of retirement, haven't come to fruition. But do you ever lose that itch as a wrestler? And you could think of some of the dream matches that you could have in WWE with AJ Lee, namely a Bayley versus an AJ Lee, a Charlotte versus an AJ Lee, a Becky versus an AJ Lee. So there's all kinds.
Well, don't forget, guys, she's involved in that Women of Wrestling too. AJ Lee. She's involved somehow. I don't know if she's an investor or some kind of an official, but I know she's involved somehow. She doesn't wrestle, but she's involved somehow with that. Wow.
Well, and again, I would think eventually she'll make her way back somehow, some way to WrestleMania event because you want to see this type of matches. So I'm not surprised to hear this. In fact, I'm kind of surprised she hasn't already made it back. And
right.
Rumors are going to come to pass, and she's going to show up on WWE programming, which is going to shock a lot of people.
She's another Alexa Bliss, guys. She gets too many concussions, and when you get that many concussions, it bothers. It's like a football player when they get them.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what AJ Lee's problem is.
Yeah, it's definitely a tough thing to have if you have concussion problems. That's for sure. What else, Frankie?
Well, you got I'm gonna murder the last name, Stephanie Vakir.
Okay.
I believe I said it right.
Okay.
Just signed over from New Japan.
Correct.
Right. And then I'm gonna I always kill this name.
Spit it out,
Gilia?
Junior.
Gilia.
Gilia. God bless you, Gilia.
Gilia.
Yeah.
It sounds
like Gilia.
She's going to be coming up from over from New Japan. Both came in NXT.
Right.
And now they just signed. I forgot her name from Australia.
You're getting old, my friend. You're getting old. You're forgetting things or forgetting names. You can't pronounce this. Can't pronounce that. I don't know who you're talking about, but WWE has been a renaissance here the last couple months. The last 6 months here, Triple H and company are just killing it with signings and storylines and everything like that. And of course, you got SummerSlam just less than a week away. So we'll see how that turns out.
And signing guys from AEW. I mean, that was never happening when Vince McMahon was running the show. I mean, Ethan Page right there. I hear Ricky Starks is coming because he's friends with CM Punk.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's the type of stuff that's different with the WWE now.
Well, you saw Ethan Page coming because that's Cody Rhodes' old tag partner.
Yep. You've seen Sean Spears also come over.
Sean Spears, the chairman. Yeah.
Right. It is now with WWE. So it used to be the other way around. WWE wrestlers were going to AEW. Now it's the other way. So we'll see how it works out. And I think Ricky Starks, if pushed correctly, can definitely be a superstar in this business. And
I think WWE can make anybody a superstar. I believe that to be the case. Where AEW cannot. AEW has to get guys like John Moxley, Chris Jericho, people like that, Kenny Omega. If they don't have those kind of guys, forget it. Because WWE is better at developing guys and putting guys in position to be successful.
Yep. All right, Frankie.
Which is really sad because I freaking love Darby Allin.
Oh, so do I.
I think he is hand over fist the best guy that is in AEW right now.
Right.
Right.
And it's just like, man, you got to do some outstanding. Booking with him, please.
Well, you do, and you like him coming down from the rafters there and taking some of the bumps that he's taken. It's amazing stuff.
Or the coffin stuff he did from the top of the cage tonight.
He did some Frankie. I was just going to talk about that. He did some amazing stuff tonight in that cage match. So I mean, Darby Allin.
Talk about that match a little bit, Ralph and Frankie.
Oh, it was just one heck of a match. They had not Diamond Dallas Page. Hangman Page. Thank you. My sweetheart just told me that. Hangman Page. So anyway, Hangman Page, he handcuffed Swerve Strickland to the cage, and then they were able to get him off the cage. And then he went in. He started cleaning house. Darby Allin was everywhere. Mark Briscoe, that guy. I mean, it's just he was crazy tonight. And I got to tell you, AEW came to fight. And the Elite ended up having to surrender because they poured gasoline. Darby Allin poured gasoline on Jack Perry tonight and just went right up to Nick or Matt Jackson. I can't remember which one's which, but went up to one of them and said, look, I'm going to put him on fire if you don't surrender. So they surrendered.
Wow.
So
Jack Perry refused to surrender. He just would not.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
And,
but it was one of the Jackson brothers that surrendered because
The other spot in that match that was absolutely amazing is they had there was a board that had barbed wire, right?
Yes.
And they had Anthony
Bowens.
They had Bowens laid out on it, and then they grabbed another one, and they made like a barbed wire sandwich with him.
Right.
And then one of the young bucks, went up to the top rope and then sentoned on top of it, and I'm like, oh gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course you had the staple gun fight.
Yeah, that was crazy. They bring out a suitcase full of staple guns, Peter, and then they end up having this big staple gun battle. It was crazy.
I want to know about the thumbtacks in Caster's mouth. They had to have done something with that.
Well, they do a lot of thumbtacks and everything like that. I mean, they do that.
No,
that's
but
their,
like
that's
in
their
there, they
thing.
actually.
Hey, I haven't seen staple guns since the movie The Wrestler.
Yeah, but in that match, they put thumbtacks in his mouth. But I'm like wondering, how many of them actually made it in his mouth, and how many of them is he spitting out? You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, man.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, man. I appreciate the call as always. Let's go ahead and talk more wrestling here. Appreciate it, Frankie.
Sure.
As always, great.
Have a good night, Frankie.
He's awesome as always. Pat McAfee not only announced today that he's going to be a part of Game Day again, College Game Day, but also WWE 2K24. Have you played that game yet? I have not, but have you played the 2K series? Because it was a disaster a couple years ago. But what has been told here is not only is it going to be a downloadable character, but the game is pretty good. What do you say?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't play the games.
Okay. All right. Let's talk about.
I do play Atari. I still have an Atari game.
Wow, you still got an Atari game? Yeah. Okay. All right. Damian Priest talked to Joseph Stanjowski of the New York Post, and he was talking about not kicking out there, saying it was personal. In fact, he says this about the last pay-per-view: the idea that I forgot to kick out, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. We don't forget to kick out. 20 years in, I'm pretty sure there's some kind of muscle memory there. So me forgetting was not the case. There was nothing outside that was supposed to happen. It was a matter of there was a situation, but I'm okay. Everybody's fine. The story continues. He also noted that he was kicking himself, but he was not bothered by the criticism that he received because it was not real. It doesn't affect anything. The show goes on. I think fans are very invested in everything that's going on. The ones that matter knew the situation and nobody thought twice about it. It was, and he says, move on. So your thoughts on Damian Priest and those comments saying it was personal. It was something about, he did not want to get into anything medical. I mean, what do you make of that? Because it looked like a botch to me. It looked like he did forget to kick out. What do you say?
Oh, I believe he did, and he's not going to admit it, of course. Guys that make those kind of mistakes, they don't admit that. And these things are rehearsed. I mean, I used to work security for ROH, so I used to watch how they used to rehearse this stuff before they even came out. So I mean, if it was really rehearsed the way I think it is, and he forgot that he had to kick out or whatever, and then all of a sudden decides to kick out, that sometimes that happens. You forget, it's just like rehearsing for a movie or anything. You forget your lines, and stuff like that. So he forgot what he had to do.
Yep, it's a good point. If you want to talk wrestling here on this show on Turnbuckle Talk on the Sports Web, 727-255-0391. It's 727-255-0391.
Peter, I had a rough day today. I got word today by email that I can't get my TV show started because the station is going out of business at the end of the month.
Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that, man. Well, I hope there's another opportunity that opens up for you.
Radio and TV both this year.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, just keep your head up here. We'll finish up with this, and then we'll get you out of here because I'm also a little bit tired myself.
I'm tired myself. I had my transit council meeting tonight, and I had to go downtown Pittsburgh and come back and all that. And I had another show I was committed to. I commit to at 9:00 on Wednesday. So
I got you. Well, you're a hardworking man. Now, WWE star Tommy Dreamer believes that the promotion, excuse me if I could talk, has not utilized a WWE star. And he says during a recent edition of Busted Open that star is Otis. In fact, he says Otis is a star. Otis has always been a star. When Otis was in, you look at his trajectory in WWE. When he came up, heavy machinery, he really did steal the show then. He was the Money in the Bank winner. He's not your prototypical what a WWE superstar would look like, but the guy is an amazing amateur wrestler. The guy is an amazing entertainer. He's so charismatic. He has that it factor. He is somebody I feel that WWE doesn't utilize enough in the sense of, man, I have a baby face who could just explode, that if we got behind me could be even a bigger star. Dreamer believes that Otis as a heel worked, but it wasn't the best of what he could truly offer. He thinks that if the Wyatts were heels, then targeting Otis would generate a lot of sympathy for the former Alpha Academy member, which I cannot talk right now. Obviously, I'm tired. So what do you think of Tommy Dreamer's comments about Otis?
Oh, I agree with Tommy Dreamer. By the way, he's doing Memphis Wrestling now. So Bully Ray is on NWA. I just saw him on Power. So he's on NWA. So
Bully Ray was in Power. I didn't know that at all. Wow.
Yeah.
Which is crazy because CW Sports is also acquiring the rights to NXT here in just the next couple months. So
months, yeah.
Once again,
what's his face? The owner of NWA, the one that's the Smashing Pumpkins lead singer. What the heck's his name that owns that? Off the top of my head, I can't remember his name right now. My brain is tired from today. So anyhow, but he laid an egg. I mean, he had an opportunity, and CW laid some rules down. He don't want to follow them, so you know what? They just said, forget it.
Billy Corgan.
They don't even, Billy Corgan. That's it. Yeah. So I mean, and he didn't put, he laid an egg. He didn't want to follow the rules. CW laid out. So you know what? He laid an egg, and now NXT is going to be on there, and they still have WoW on there, and and I can watch TNA for free now on the Pirates Radio or TV network here.
Well, they're still going to be online with the CW, I believe. So, but there was you're exactly right. There was supposed to be a deal with CW where they were going to have the television rights, and they did this storyline, which was really weird.
Right. And CW told them not to do it, and they did it anyway. And they, CW nixed the deal. So Billy Corgan got egg on his face. I mean, from that. But, it's nice because I get to see EC3s running all over Pennsylvania here doing independent wrestling. So,
all right,
with his NWA championship.
One final story here on Turnbuckle Talk, and we'll wrap it up for the night.
Sure.
Tony Khan was on the Rich Eisen show, and he was asked about the idea, or likes the idea, of AEW versus a WWE Super Show. He had this to say. He said, I don't know who's hitting me up. Okay. Said he would love it if it could happen, but there are a lot of challenging business things that make it difficult to do. He goes on to say, I would love if that were possible. I don't know that it is, but it would be great if it were possible for the fans. I think that would be wonderful, but there are a lot of challenging business things in the world of pro wrestling that I think would make that a very challenging thing to do. Again, WWE becomes less, with, Paul Levesque, going in and turning, having, some type of situation where they have a partnership with TNA, that would have never thought, but I just don't see it happening with WWE. I think it's going to be tough, but an AEW has close partnerships with New Japan Wrestling, CMLL, and Stardom. Those promotions were all involved with Forbidden Door in 2024. So what are your thoughts about those comments of having an AEW WWE Super Show? Could it ever happen? Is it possible? And what matches would you like to see if they did have that? Is this any possible at all? Is this talk?
It's talk because I want to see. I like the WWE idea of them partnering up with TNA. But here's the thing, though. AEW partnered up with TNA when it was Impact before, and it didn't work. Okay, and now they want to do this thing with WWE, and it's not going to work. I don't think it will. I think you have too many egos involved in this, between Tony Khan's ego and then you got Paul Levesque's ego, and I don't think Paul Levesque wants anything to do with AEW except taking the wrestlers away from there. That's about the only thing I think he wants to do with them. But I see this, Peter, TNA, NXT. I see that. That's what I see. Okay,
Well,
I don't see any main matches, but that's what I see.
I don't know who that benefits, and I think it comes down to everybody always wanted WCW.
I think it benefits both because NXT is sort of like a TNA anyway. I mean, you think about that. Okay,
Yeah, but NXT has better ratings at this point than AEW. So
yes,
it would be interesting to see some of the dream matches out there. Of course, CM Punk, Kenny Omega, that's one of them. MJ.
See, Peter, WWE has always had the wrestling foundation.
Mhm.
Okay, Tony Khan, and I've said this many times, it was a wrestling fan that has money. Okay, and Conan has said many times with the show he does with the Disco Inferno, he has said so many times that that he didn't care that he's losing money. And I've said this a few times too on this program and on some other wrestling shows as well, that his father now is involved because he's trying to control the money because they're spending too much money at AEW. And don't forget, the Khans are paying for the repairs and to fix up in the new stadium for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And that's costing them a lot of money.
Yeah, it's definitely cost them a lot of money. It's interesting to talk about. I don't know if it ever happens because, of course, Tony Khan.
I don't think it will. I just there's too many egos involved here.
Yeah, he's made lots of comments about WWE taking shots, but you never say never if it's best for business, if it's going to make both promotions money.
Yes.
Knows what's going to happen. Ralph, thanks a lot for your time. Get some sleep, get some rest, and we'll be back.
I am
here.
I am.
On Turnbuckle. All right, my friend. Good stuff there. We'll wrap that up. Thanks a lot to all the guests tonight. Of course, the legend himself, Mr. Leo Haggerty, former Coach Scout and now media member of Night Sports Productions and Amped Up Sports. Of course, Tampa Bay Ray Kennedy, best of the Bay, talking what else? Tampa Bay Buccaneer football, first day of training camp. Tampa Bay Rays fall to the Toronto Blue Jays. And, of course, the bodyguard of the Berg, Ralph Williams, with Turnbuckle Talk. Like and subscribe to the Sports Web on YouTube. Give to YouTube Super Chats if you love the content. Give to Facebook stars. Become my friend because the season is right around the corner. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to want to tune into this show along with the JP Peterson Show, which, by the way, can be seen and heard every day from 10 a.m. to 12 noon with the great JP Peterson. 3 things. You know them. You love them. You got to have them. So here it is. Bring your passion. Bring your excitement. Just don't bring any nonsense. I'm your host, Peter Blake. your Rolex reporter. What time is it? It's my time. And for fans of the sports web and the Tampa Bay sports fan, it's your time. We'll see you next time on the evolution of Sports Talk Television. Have a great night.
Peter Blake, big fight weekend, the Rolex reporter. Thank you, Jake, for being a man of your word after giving the Rolex like you said you would. This question is for you. And also, Mike, what's your biggest concern with Mike? And Mike, what's your biggest concern with Jake in this fight?
Yeah, he's unorthodox. That's about it. So the first 30 seconds to a minute, just finding my timing and range, and then the fight's over. That's really about it.
Really, I switch stances sometimes, but I'm really an orthodox fighter, so I don't know how I'm unorthodox.
So
you
that
punch
means
people in the face.
That means like your stance is a regular stance, not southpaw.
I think that one went over your head, Jake.